Hi everyone, it's Trisha from Tribe2Village, and I'm here with the lovely Joanna.
Hi.
And today we're going to talk about something very important, something to bring in the new year, right? And that's how to create the perfect setting for self-care.
That's right.
All right. So, one important thing to keep in mind for self care, something that can set the mood, is music,
Mhm.
right? So, Joanna, do you have like a favorite thing that you listen to help you kind of decompress?
Well, for me, I'm a teacher for elementary school students. And what normally happens is a lot happens throughout the day. So you sort
Mhm.
of need to get your mind right and be available for students, for anyone that comes your way throughout the day. So you sort of have to I have to go into my work day with a peaceful mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also I have to be my own hype man. So I will listen to Beyonce, or I'll listen to Alicia Keys, maybe some Dave
Yes.
Rita, sometimes some maybe some Ja Rule.
Yes.
And then,
Some
but then
DMX. You know how you get
oh,
with
you never know what you're gonna come across. Or if I do feel down, or if I feel like I need some encouragement, I'll listen to a sermon on YouTube.
that.
So there's a balance.
Yes, yes.
Blend. Yep.
Balance is very important, right? Because music is known to like impact your nervous system, right? So, for example, if you're in the gym and you want to get hype, you're going to listen to something that's going to move that body, yada, yada, something that's hype. But if you want to come down and relax, you listen to slow, rhythmic music. Like for me, I love when I need to decompress from the day, I will listen to like neo soul or R&B, like Alicia Keys and Maxwell. Oh, my favorite is "And the Fire We Make."
Okay.
It's getting hotter and hotter,
Let's get in the
and
mood.
like a moth to the flame, I can't stay away.
Mhm.
Yes, it's just like for me, just hearing like the songs with the soft melodies and the instruments in the background, like that is soothing for me.
Yeah.
So that's but when I need to pick myself up and get going, then I will listen to something hype, something hype. So you're right. Balance is very important, and you have to know what you want in the moment.
Yep,
You know?
absolutely.
Yes. And then also for me, and also what's known to impact our bodies is lighting,
Mm-hmm.
right? So very bright lights tend to be overstimulating and alerting.
Mm-hmm.
And when you like tone it down and dim the lights, that has a very soothing and calming impact on your body.
That's
you
right.
know so at the end of the day, and I say all of this because I'm an occupational therapist, so I
Mhm.
deal with a lot of like self-regulation in children. So these are things but it doesn't only apply to children. These are things that we could apply to our own self, right, for our self-care. So at the end of the day, when I'm extremely stressed, I will turn down the lights, and I will put on my soothing R&B, neo soul music, my Just Got My Music, Soul Child, all of that. Maybe light some candles, sip
Mm-hmm.
some tea.
I have candles in every room. It's
Yes, yes, yes. And then that leads to a whole nother thing, right? Aromatherapy, certain scents,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? Do you want to tell us about that? I know
Well,
you know about that.
for me, to wake me up or to make me feel a little bit more alerted, I do use sweet orange oil. It calms me down, but it keeps me awake.
Mm-hmm.
Before I go to bed, I'll use a lavender, um,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe like a vanilla scent when I take a shower. And when the bathroom, I'll have candles as well. So
Yeah,
sometimes I don't even turn on the light in the bathroom. I'll just have candles, and I'll
me too.
play some soft music. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it puts me in a peaceful mindset, right? It clears my mind. It helps me think clearly. So
Yes. Yes, yes. So those are wonderful ways to set the environment for self-care, right?
Mhm.
And what are some other things that you enjoy doing to help you in your self-care routine?
Okay, so a few things, but I don't have them near me. I don't have them next to me. I can get them, or I can just say them. I can
You
just
can
say them.
just say them.
Okay, so one in okay, so the mornings are really important to me because I want to make sure that I'm not rude to anyone, even though I may want. So I may wake up, I'll do maybe some yoga if I have the time. I'll read my
Mm-hmm.
devotional afterwards. And sometimes I'll write. I'll journal write. That can be in the morning or at night.
Mm-hmm.
So journal writing is really important because it just
Mm-hmm.
allows you to clear your mind. That way you don't wake up or you don't leave your home with something bothering you, because even though we may not want to, we may project that onto others, right?
Yes.
So,
Happens all the time.
right.
All the time.
So that's so journal writing, reading my devotional, meditating on whatever I read in the devotional, but also taking some quiet time, right? So
Oh my goodness. Preach about quiet time.
yeah, it's very, very important. I
Yes.
mean, so even okay, let's say at home, dim the lights, have some nice scents flowing throughout the air, maybe open the window, but then also at work, if you can, lock your door and turn off the lights, maybe sit on a corner,
We'll
okay,
say not today.
and
Not
just
today.
breathe for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, and that is your time. That is the
Mm-hmm.
time that you get to think clearly and breathe and not be bothered by anyone. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and one
Oh,
last thing for me is push away negative thoughts. So they're always going to come. They're always going to be around. And when
mm-hmm.
they come, you just you actively say, nope, you're not doing that, and replace that with something positive.
Yes, yes. And just to note, sometimes that could be easier said than done, but you still have to force yourself. It's not going to be easy, especially if you've had thought patterns that you've had all your life. It's
Mhm.
not going to be easy to change that. So even if it's something that, even if you don't believe the positive, if you just still be proactive and force yourself to say those
Yeah.
positive things over and over and over again, eventually is going to seep into your being, and that's going to take over the negative thoughts. But
Mhm.
it's definitely a journey. It's definitely hard.
Yeah.
But the trick is to keep doing it and don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward.
One last thing that popped up into my mind is the procrastination. I mean, I struggle with procrastination. So in order to get that self
Procrastination is a way of life.
in order to get those self-care habits in check, in order, you need to push yourself out of procrastination. So sometimes for me, I'll say, okay, I'll wash the dishes at 10 o'clock. And then once it's 10:01, well, I got to wait till 11 o'clock because I missed it. No, you have to push yourself and say, no, I said I would do this, because if I don't do this now, then I'm not going to have time to meditate. I won't have time to light my candles and enjoy the scents. I won't have time to listen to the music that I really need to listen to in order
Good
to,
point.
yeah. So, yeah.
And so, what are some ways for someone who struggles with procrastination, right? What are some ways for them to do it? Like to snap out of it?
Well, one thing that works for me is I do make lists, whether it's right when you get out of bed or the day before. That
Mm-hmm.
might work. Sometimes people might, put times next to whatever they have to do on their list. I just do it in any order.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good when I'm able to scratch something off my list. It makes me feel
Me
happy.
too. Yeah,
Inside.
put a little check.
So that might work for some people. Maybe telling others around them what they're going to do, that might be a little tricky because sometimes you don't want to tell people, you
Mm-hmm.
may not
Or
trust
tell
people.
a trusted person.
Yeah.
You know.
Um, I mean, the list really works for me.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes if it's up like bigger goals, you can make a vision board. It doesn't have to be
Mm-hmm.
fancy. It just can be big cardboard paper or large paper. You know,
Mm-hmm. or
Writing stuff
leaf
down.
paper.
Yeah, writing stuff down, doing that pen to brain, connection really
Yeah,
helps to
yeah.
motivate you.
Yeah, and also you could, use your phone, set timers, put things in your calendar. It depends on you. If you're someone who's, attached to your phone and that works for you, set a timer so every time you hear that sound, that triggers like, oh, wait a minute, I have to go and do this, right? And also on the computer, they also have a plethora of visual timers.
Yeah.
So while you're working on something, you could see something like whether it's a clock or one of those, what are those things, with the sand?
I don't know what it's called. The
Well,
sand.
they have a whole lot of different visual timers there that you could use as an aid to help you see, like, okay, I have X amount of time to do this project. And then after this, I'll move on to something else.
Yeah.
That could help. Yeah. And I wanted to touch on something else that you said about having time to meditate or just having time by yourself, closing the door at work or, going and having lunch in your car or whatever. It's so important to just take time to wind down. Right. And for me, I was missing that component. So from the moment I woke up, I'm like on the go. I'm doing this, that, and the third. And I also have like a lot of stimulation. I'm kind of overstimulated by all the screen time. You wake up, you're on your phone, and then you're doing, especially if you're doing remote work, you know what it is. Like we're in front of the computer the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
And then like at my house, I have my kids screaming. Like it's just constant noise, constant input, it's like sensory overload.
Yeah.
So by the end of the day, I'm like fried and then I pass out and then I wake up the next morning to do it again and I don't feel refreshed, but it's because I didn't take the time to power down.
Yeah. And that also takes away from your creative space because now your body's so tired, you're mentally
Mm-hmm.
tired that when you're not able to think clearly. So sometimes, let's say during Christmas break, right, where I'm home and I'm starting to think of different ways of organizing things or different ways of um, demonstrating things on like whatever I create on my computer. But if I was tired, um, overworked, I wouldn't have thought idea.
Yes.
I thought about it that way because I'm so tired.
Yes. And then it would have been something else that you push off on your list and procrastinate on because you have so many other things to do. And it's just like a vicious cycle, right? But just like our electronics need to power down from time to time, we also need to power down and just reconnect with us, So self-care is super, super important. And thank you so much, Joanna, for sharing little gems about how to set the environment for self-care. And there are so many other things that we could do as well, but you just have to find whatever works for you. If, something that recharges you is dancing or is, dancing, you go ahead and do that, if you like to twerk or go do gymnastics or paint or, whatever it is, archery, whatever works for you, whatever calms your soul, whatever helps you reconnect to your inner self, then do that,
And
right?
don't feel guilty.
Yes, and don't feel guilty. It's so necessary. It's a part of your health. It's not just like self-care is not just about going to the gym and
Right.
physically working out. It's so much more. Taking care of your spiritual health, your mental health, your emotional health is all interconnected.
Right. And people want the best from you constantly. They always want to see you at your best, maybe for their gain, who knows? But that's so you have to say, okay, I know that you want me to be at my best for whatever reason. So let me go on ahead and do this. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. And saying no is a form of self-care. Don't
Yeah.
spread yourself too thin. We all know you can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Yep.
So, But thank you so much, Joanna, for all your lovely insight.
Me, yes.
Yes, and everyone who's watching, thank you so much for joining us. And once again, this is Trisha from Tribe2Village, and let's continue to elevate and grow together. And don't forget to subscribe.
And yes.
Until next time. Bye.